Run for your lives. We're back again. Yeah, you
Grab
thought
the
we were
women and
joking last
children and
time.
run.
We're back. Hey guys, I am Rick Hughes along with dazzling David
You
Whitescarver.
pointed to the wrong way, by the way. Just saying.
Oh, not on my screen. It looked like it was correct on my screen. So I don't
Well, it probably is, but
I,
it's
I
not
have no
on.
idea. Anyway, how's it going, everybody?
Hope everyone
It's
had a
time for
Merry
some live Bucks
Christmas.
talk. Let's have a good time talking Buccaneer football. We got a lot to talk about.
And I feel good.
Good, thank God somebody feels good because all that I'm hearing is complaining, and it gets old. I get messages constantly, people calling me constantly. Everybody, all that I hear is, oh my gosh, we got to fire Bulls, we got to fire Leftwich, Brady. All right, guys. About, I don't know, it was probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I did a little segment called Buccaneer Fan Academy, and I swear it's about time to do that again because y'all have forgotten. This is the time to be happy. We're in a playoff hunt. We
Tis the
might win the
season.
division. What's that, Dave?
Tis the season.
Oh my gosh. This is dazzling David Whitescarver here with me. And Dave, please tell these people how to what's wrong with you people?
You clinch your division this weekend. You clinch. Beat the Panthers at home and you clinch and you're in. And who knows what can happen. In the last 2 years, the Buccaneers have won a Super Bowl in a 31-9 blowout. They have like 79-30 scoring in their favor in the 2 Super Bowls they've played in. They won the Super Bowl for the first time in 13 years. They won their division. They had the best record in the history of the franchise at 13-4, and you would have thought that we were the Houston Texans. It's amazing.
It's phenomenal how unhappy everybody is. And I sit here during the game. And it's this constant barrage of we suck on Twitter. That's all everybody says on Twitter is, oh my gosh, we're the worst thing ever. We are horrible. And it's just constant that's what we hear. Guys, if you want to join us and talk, I'm putting a link down here for you. All right, I put a link in the comment box. If you want to join us, you don't have to come on video. You can always turn your camera off, but you're welcome to come and join us. We'd love to have you.
Bring some good cheer.
Exactly.
We can win the division this week. Back-to-back divisions.
Realize that if we win this week, we win the division.
Again.
Come on. It's not that bad.
13 years prior, we didn't win it at all. And we could win it 2 years in a row.
It's just not that bad. Holy cow, man. We're good. We're good enough to be in a division battle, and you guys are acting like they've lost. Now, here's the deal. I don't want to sit here and act like it's all, we're farting rainbows and everything is perfect. I don't want to act like that. All right. There's some problems. There are things we got to work on. That's obvious. And we'll talk about that. We will get into that. All right. The Bucs do have issues, and we will get into that. Having said that, guys, Tom Brady's not playing well. Now, while everybody's ripping Todd Bowles and everybody's ripping Byron Leftwich and the Buccaneers in general, I want to discuss something. I just want to use. Let's use our thinker here for just a second, guys. Stop and think. Let's say you got hired to be the offensive coordinator. Obviously, you think you should be because I read your tweets and I get your messages. So obviously, you think you're smart enough to be the offensive coordinator. So now you're the offensive coordinator. Your quarterback's going to get rid of the ball in under 2 seconds. That means you have 2 seconds to pass the ball. All right? Or you can run it, but since there's only 2 seconds to pass the ball, what's going to happen? All the defenders are going to come up and cover short. You're going to fill everybody in the box as a defense, and they're not going to be able to run the ball. And then what happens? Everybody's going to complain. You're running the ball. You're not creative. This is what cracks me up, guys, and I don't understand this.
And Mike Evans will disappear.
Well, Mike Evans has disappeared for the first 3 quarters of every game because Tom Brady won't hold the ball for more than 2 seconds. Okay? That's Mike Evans is not a speedster. Okay? He's
Those
not.
hammies.
It's going to take him a minute to do what? For his route to develop and for him to get open. That's how he's going to work. All right? He's not quick. Now, you can have a speedster like Scotty Miller, who you say, okay, great, Scotty Miller, he's fast. How long does it take to get down the field for one of these beautiful long passes we all remember? Longer than 2 seconds. All right, guys. So if you have a quarterback who's going to get rid of the ball in under 2 seconds, and by the way, he's not getting hit all the time. He's getting hit less than almost every quarterback in the league.
0 sacks Cardinal game.
All right. But yet he has to get rid of the ball that quick. Why? He's playing scared. Everybody wrap your mind around this. Tom Brady's playing scared. All right. That's what's wrong with this offense. What happens in the fourth quarter when he's going to go ahead and, all right, fine, I got to risk it for the biscuit. I got to go ahead and hold the ball for more than 2 seconds to try to hit my receivers. I've got to do this. What happens? The whole field opens up. Everything's different. Mike Evans is all of a sudden involved in the game. Why? Guys, it's not Todd Bowles. Guys, it's not Byron Leftwich. It's Tom Brady. It's Tom freaking Brady that is the issue right now. Having said that, Tom Brady has the Buccaneers in first. Okay? They are in first place in the division. They win this game. They clinch the division. They go to the playoffs. We play the Dallas Cowboys. All right. So for all the complaining, for all the, this offense looks terrible. This is awful. This is bad. We're going to win the division. Now, anybody who says we don't deserve to win the division, let me clarify something. If we win this division, if we win this week, we have a better record than every other team in the division. We deserve to win the division. Stop saying we don't deserve to win the division. Yes, we do.
They're not saying it in Jacksonville.
Everybody else sucks.
They're 7-8 and thrilled in Jacksonville with a shot at the division.
Yeah, exactly. And let me tell you something. For all you guys who want to already get rid of the head coach, get rid of the offensive coordinator, get rid of the quarterback, for all of you who want to do that already, for all of you who are ready to get rid of everybody, all right, stop and think. What's it going to be like next? You think you're complaining now? You think you're complaining now? Wait until, I don't know. I can promise you this. You're probably the guy who thinks Kyle Trask is the answer. Okay? Listen, he's not the answer. He's not the answer. You want to know how I know that? Because I work with a guy named David Whitescarver, who's a die-hard Gator fan.
Second
Dave
generation. Second generation.
Is Kyle Trask the answer, Dave?
No, he is not.
Explain, please.
Well,
explain.
Kyle Trask can't even cut it on the scout team in practice. They don't give him reps. You have to earn them, and he hasn't earned them yet. On the off times when he has played in the preseason, he has not looked like an NFL quarterback, not even a backup quarterback. So I don't think another off season of him holding a clipboard and taking reps in practice is going to turn him into a adequate starting quarterback.
Who thinks he's getting a lot of reps in practice? Now, not me. I'm not raising my hand on that one. You know why? He's not even the number 2 quarterback. If you think Kyle Trask is the answer, for everybody who keeps saying, just pull Brady and put this kid out there. Let's see what he can do before the draft. Let's see what he can do. Guys, they see what he can do in practice all the time. You don't see what he can do. You're like, oh, let's see what he can do. They know what he can do by now. He's not the answer. All right, another quarterback. They're going to have to figure something out. And we can talk about that in the offseason. I don't feel like talking about who can replace Brady next year for two reasons. Number one, we have no idea, and it's not that time. It's time to be talking playoffs. Number two, one more thing is I still think there's a 50-50 shot of Brady coming back next season. Okay, is he really going to go somewhere else and start over? Learn a new offense? Learn new players? Is he really going to do that? Did he unretire for one season? Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think so. 50-50 shot. Maybe he'll go to somewhere else. And if he does, he's going to have to give them like a 3-year commitment. Think about that. Eesh. You ready to give Brady a 3-year commitment? Bucs fans, are you ready to give Brady a 3-year commitment right now? I'm not. That's what some other team's going to have to do. All right. So, will I take Brady next year? Dave, will you take Brady next year?
No, I don't want him. I mean, it's a business decision. I don't
Understand.
want him.
Then what's the answer? Then who's your quarterback?
I think you go looking for free agents.
That's
Or
what I
throw
think is the
if you
answer.
can't find one, don't force it. If the deal doesn't make sense for both sides, especially the Bucs,
Yeah.
then you go with Gabbert.
Yep.
Let's see what he can do.
I'm far more likely to say let's see what Gabbert can do or go through free agency, and we will dig into that in the offseason. Right now, I want to talk about the Cardinals game. Right after we come back, we're going to dig into the Cardinals game. This is only going to take about 10 seconds or so, and we will be back. We'll be back shortly to get into the Cardinals game. Dave, first thoughts, first impressions, Dave. Tell me about the Cardinals game.
The Bucs did what they had to do. They showed some gumption at the end. The offense looked like it had looked 90% of the time up until Tom Brady pulling it out at the end, coming for 10 points from behind, and then going 6 for 6 on the field goal drive to win the game. The reality is the Cardinals are not a very good football team. 4-10 coming in. They were playing their third string quarterback. But you got the job done. You can't control your schedule. It's handed to you, and the Bucs did what they needed to do. And now a win at home against the Panthers, and you go to the playoffs. So they did what they had to do. Was it impressive? Not any stretch of the imagination, but they're win this week and you're in.
That's exactly right. It's that simple. Win this week and you're in. If before this season started, you said the Bucs can clinch a week early, get to rest their guys a week early, if they feel like it, which I don't think they're going to anyway. But you give the opportunity. If I told you before the year started, you're going to win the division, it'll be clinched a week early, what would you say? You probably would have said, all right, let's take it. And then we'll go on the run with Brady. But now all I hear is complaining. I want to hear from you guys. Where are you guys in the comments? You're quiet tonight. Come on. Yeah, I hear Jason. Yeah, I see you. You're doing your usual stuff. Whatever. But guys, I just believe that this team is something let's all be happy now because guys, the future's coming. The future's coming, and it's probably not going to be one of the best things we've ever experienced. We're going to have to go through downtime again, deal with that again. So let's enjoy this while we can. Let's enjoy it. I don't know. The Cardinals game, guys, I see it as the problem is, again, Brady playing scared for 3 quarters until he has to go ahead and stand in the pocket. And then when he does, we do great. I want to point out something about this game when everybody says, oh my gosh, the offense couldn't move the ball. We kicked 4 field goals, and got 1 touchdown. We were moving the ball.
And they had 115 yards rushing.
The Bucs actually don't have a hard time moving the ball. We have a hard time scoring touchdowns. That's where the problem comes in. We have a hard time scoring touchdowns, and that's got to get fixed. Okay, we've
And
got to figure out ways.
interceptions.
What's that?
Brady's had 2 interceptions for like 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's a mess. We've got to figure out how to get in the end zone. And I mean, Ryan Succop's having a great year. Thank God for Ryan Succop. But we've got to get in the end zone. And the thing is, here's where you notice the problem is Tom Brady and the getting rid of the ball too quickly. Here's where you notice it. He gets the ball down the field, and then when you have a condensed field, when there's not as much room to operate, and the defense and everything is more compact, he can't move the ball, getting rid of the ball that quickly because routes don't develop. Guys can't work their way open. He's just got all they have to do, cover him right off the line, and you got him. You try to run the ball, you can't. Why? Everybody's in the box. This is why we get the ball down the field and can't do anything in the red zone. People, think about this. It's not Byron's play calling. It's Brady's unwillingness to get hit. Now, look, if Brady decides to come back next year, and I believe if he comes back, Gronk's coming back. I think Gronk may come back for another year. He's done this before. He retires for a little bit, watches all the shenanigans and fun happen, and then he decides, all right, I'll come back. I mean, it's just a very Gronk kind of thing to do. All right, so Gronk comes back next year. I think if that happens, okay, let's enjoy it. Let's go again for another run at this, guys. Let's have fun and be positive. The one thing I want to hear out of you guys is just stop the complaining constantly. I mean, guys, it's amazing to me that with we just won this game. Do y'all realize we beat the Cardinals? You're going to say we didn't beat them by enough. I heard the same thing in the Super Bowl when we won 30-9. Within 5 minutes of the Super Bowl ending, I saw a post where somebody said, "Well, Jameis would have won by more." I mean, I'm not kidding. That happened within 5 minutes of the Super Bowl ending. Jameis would have won by more. I mean, guys, I don't care how we win. Now, do I think we're a Super Bowl team? Well, we're not seeing it, are we? Well, we see it kind of in the fourth quarter. We see it when the chips are down. We see it when the back's against the wall. That's when you see this team blossom. Well, think about this, everybody. This is my point about Tom Brady being scared during the regular season. Why did Tom Brady lose almost every game to the Saints under Sean Payton? Why did he lose almost every regular season game, but then in the playoffs he beat them? Why? Because he's willing to take hits in the playoffs. He's willing to stand in the pocket for more than 2 seconds. That's where you see it all happen. All right. That's when you're going to see Brady play better. Now, look, again, I'm not farting rainbows here. I don't think everything's great. I don't think we're all wonderful and everything is fantastic. But I do think we're going to the playoffs. And if you've been a Bucs fan for more than 2 years, anybody out there who's been a Bucs fan for more than 2 years, check yourself. Check your sheet. Check yourself. Okay. If you honestly believe that this is not the time to be happy, this may be our last run at this, guys. This may be our last run with Tom Brady. This may be our last playoff run for a while, possibly. If that's the case, guys, have fun now because it's not going to be fun later. Here's you know what? When we come back, Dave, I got a thing. I got a thing. I got a thing I got to say. And I know I'm on a roll tonight, but we'll be back in just a couple of seconds and we'll talk. Okay. I got a thing. I got a thing that I don't understand. All right. So the Bucs going to make the playoffs. Everything's going to be all right. We got Tom Brady. Everything's good with that. Jason Light's still, I mean, I still think Jason Light, not Todd Light. I think Jason Light is is the sort of the he's put together this franchise. Now, Guys, why do we keep doing this to Jason Light? Why do we keep telling him 3 out of 4 times? Now, this is his fourth coach. 3 out of the 4 coaches we have said to Jason Light, you don't get to choose your head coach. You're going to be saddled with this coach, and he doesn't get to pick and choose. And we've been through this time and time again about why everything was such a disaster under Lovey and then Cutter, because I mean Jason Light doesn't know who he's drafting for, a defensive minded coach, an offensive minded coach. Now we have a defensive minded coach. What have we done? We've been drafting and getting all these free agents that are offensive. Now look, Leonard Fournette, thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Lenny. You had a great game. Thank you. But
On a
Rashad White,
bum foot.
yes, on a bum foot. But Rashad White, that's a great draft pick. Okay. That's a great draft pick. Kate Otten, great draft pick. Um, I just O'Keefe, great draft pick. Um, guys, we're in the position now to where these are the good times, and it may be the end of them. Um, Dave, when you look at the Cardinals game and all of the down getting down, be honest, when they went down by 10, did you think the game was over?
No, because of how bad the Cardinals are. And because they had their third string quarterback in. So I thought our defense was playing well, that the defense could clamp down, and that you had a shot.
The injured defense. A lot of key injuries on that defense, and you still said, yeah, I think they can clamp down and do this. Now imagine adding Vita Vea and Jamel Dean. Those guys are back. All right. Now you start adding the linemen back. You start getting all the key pieces back in the fold. And all of a sudden, this team doesn't look so bad. Brady holds the ball longer. He doesn't look so bad. Guys, this is, it's time to be happy. It's time to be, seriously. Now, we got a big game coming this week. Not a little game. We got a big game coming this week. And we're going to break that down in a little bit. But the last thing I want to talk about, I want to go through some specifics of the Cardinals game. All right? Everybody, come with me here. Go back to this game and let's look at things. First of all, if I hear one more person complain about, well, we got 9 yards on first down and then we had 3 straight runs on 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, and 4th and 1, and we didn't get the first down. How could he keep running the ball? Because you had 1 yard to go. If your offensive coordinator says, yeah, we can't get a yard if we run it, you're screwed. I'm not complaining that Byron Leftwich said run the ball 3 straight times. I'm complaining that the players didn't perform. That is how you win a freaking ball game. That's what needs to happen. Is, look, if you can't get 1 yard, don't blame Byron Leftwich. Don't blame Byron Leftwich. It's the players. 1 yard. You blame Byron Leftwich for running the ball. Yeah, well, he tried it 3 straight plays. Yeah, 1 yard. Come on, man. You've got to be able to get 1 yard. So to me, I don't say Byron Leftwich, you need to change. I say, I'll be fair, I'll be a little bit critical. They don't all need to be off tackle runs. 1 yard, 3 tries, 1 yard. Then we say, well, we can't move the ball. Well, we got the ball down there. We got the ball to that point. We didn't score points. Think about if you take two of those field goals and turn them into touchdowns. 2 out of the 4. If you take 2 out of those 4 and turn them into touchdowns, what happens? What's the score? All right. Now you take let's say one of them, but then you also get that 1 yard, that you get a touchdown on that drive that we just turned the ball over on downs. Now you're just adding basically you're at 14 points to your score. Guys, it's not that bad. Not that bad. It's not as bad as a lot of you think it is. And that's where the problem comes in. Now, as we break down position by position, and I'm going to let Dave sort of take over when we come back here in just a second. We'll let Dave discuss some of the positions, some of the players specifically at running back, tight end, at wide receiver, and we're going to go through this, and we're going to get Dave's sort of overview, Dave's point of view on whether these guys are worth keeping around or what you do with them in the offseason. Let's talk to Dave in a second. All right, Dave. I want to hear your take on this. Let's go. Let's start at running back. Talk to me about Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette's a monster. You got to keep him. He's learned now to play with being hurt. If Leonard Fournette was not on the field this past week, the Bucs don't win that football game. They lose to the Cardinals. You keep Leonard Fournette. The guy's a star. He's dependable. He wasn't early in his career. He is now, and I think he's still got a chip on his shoulder.
Now, what about Rachaad White?
For a rookie, he's impressed. He does a little bit of everything. He's good catching the ball. He has a little burst of speed. He can block. I like him, and I think you bring him back. And like you said earlier, that's a good draft pick, especially where they got him at.
Absolutely. Now, let's go to tight end. What do you think about Cade Otton?
It's his rookie year. He's done well. I'm not quite as impressed as you are with him, but I think you keep him around. But I still think that you need to get some more depth at that position and some veteran leadership.
I think that's a pretty good assessment. Wide receiver, Mike Evans.
Well, they've got okay. You got to get your offensive line in shape for Mike Evans, as we've discussed. He's not a speedster. You've got to give him time to run his routes, but he's tall. He's got all the intangibles. You keep him, but you got to get an offensive line that gives whoever's at quarterback time to get the ball to him.
Fair enough.
Chris Godwin. Typically, wide receivers of Chris Godwin's quality do not get 100% healthy until the second year after an ACL tear. So I think you keep him around. He's starting to show flashes, but I think you see 100% Chris Godwin next season.
Fair enough. Is there anybody else on the team that you think should be discussed on the offense?
On the offense. Well, you start to ask the question, and we've started to, if Brady doesn't come back because the Bucs don't want him to, or because he doesn't want to, what are you going to do at quarterback? I think Blaine Gabbert is a reasonable short-term solution, and we've already discussed how Kyle Trask is not a long-term solution or really any solution whatsoever at this point in time. Then yeah, you need a quarterback to groom, or you're going to need a free agent that's better than Blaine Gabbert. If you can't get one better than Blaine Gabbert, and then you just ride a season with Blaine.
Yeah.
But you do need to start thinking about that position.
I agree with that. And I'm very much looking forward to talking about this. I'm going to bring up something about Tom Brady. I want to bring up some thoughts about Brady and where I think Brady may end up or could end up if he leaves. And I got a couple of things just to propose, I guess. Maybe that's a good way to put it. I don't know where he's going. I don't know what's going on. But let's talk about it in just a second because I'm thinking something. All right. So I got a couple of thoughts about Tom Brady. Couple of things. First of all, we know that he wants to, or we hear that he really wants to play with Sean Payton. I think that's interesting. Where could that happen? That's what I want to bring up. Where could that happen? And if Brady's willing to give 3 years to somewhere. Now, understand this: anybody who says, "Oh, maybe we could get Sean Payton," no, we can't. First of all, the Saints still own the rights to Sean Payton, and they're not gonna give them to the Bucs.
They're going
Okay,
to get compensation for wherever he signs.
correct. Get it out of your head. If the Bucs were gonna ever get a hold of Sean Payton, it would take a draft along the lines of the Herschel Walker trade. Okay, it would take something like that. All right, it's not no. Okay, so he's not coming to Tampa. So where would Sean Payton go? Well, the first thing is Dallas. All right, we know Jerry Jones would like to have Sean Payton, but then you go, well, wait a minute. They've already got a quarterback, so you can't really bring Brady there. Aha! I got a little thought here for you. Got a little thought. What about Dak being part of a trade to New Orleans for the rights? New Orleans gets their quarterback. You stick Brady and Gronk on the Cowboys. All of a sudden, that's not unreasonable to think that you include Dak as part of a trade there. Maybe even you could even give Dak and Ezekiel Elliott because now you've got another running back in Dallas that I think made the Pro Bowl this year. So, all right.
You don't want Zeke's contract.
Probably not. But if you get a quarterback out of the deal and some draft picks, you just might do that. And so all of a sudden you look at it and go, wait a minute. That might be possible. Now, where else could that you see that taking place? Well, it's possible in Denver because he's familiar with the coordinator and wouldn't be learning a whole new offense. But what are you going to do with Russell Wilson? You're not going to cut Russell Wilson.
Hey, didn't you used to be Russell Wilson?
What?
Said, hey, didn't you used to be Russell Wilson?
What?
I'm dissing Russell Wilson. They say that when a guy is no longer himself playing to the level. Didn't you used to be Russell Wilson?
I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, what?
No, not you. I know you've never been Russell Wilson.
I know.
Neither have I. I'm talking about the Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Yes.
Didn't you used to be Russell Wilson?
Yes.
He's disappeared.
Yeah, he's that
I knew they'd be in last place, but I didn't know they'd be this big a dumpster fire. But
yeah. Ooh, there we go. I just fixed my camera. Now I'm pointing in the right direction. Dave. So
it's hard for me to go around behind you.
Yeah. So yeah, guys. I mean, I think that's a possibility. Brady could go to Dallas. Think about it. There is something, as much as I hate the Cowboys, when you think about Brady and Gronk in that uniform and Sean Payton there, something feels kind of right. Something feels a little bit right about that. And can you imagine the jersey sales? Can you imagine the jersey sales? Now, let me say this, back to jersey sales, because I think this is a big deal. Everybody who's talking about who are the Bucs going to run with a quarterback next year? Who are the Bucs going to run with? The Glazers have gotten a taste of selling gazillions of jerseys and a buku amount of tickets to the games, so many so that they had to add seats to the stadium. I don't think that the Buccaneers are willing to say, Let's swing it with Gabbert. I don't think the Buccaneers are willing to say, yes, let's take a swing with Trask. I think they're going to want a quarterback that's going to sell tickets. So whomever you think that's going to be, you got to start to factor in the fact that, listen, I promise you this. If Brady says he's willing to come back, doors wide open. The Glazers will take him. Nobody's going to ask. Nobody's going to say a word. Come on back in, Tom. Welcome. We love you. What do you want us to do with the offense? What do you want us to do with the defense? What do you want? That's what they're going to say to him. Whatever you want, we'll give it to you. And they'll find a way to get it done. They'll tweak the salary cap. They'll play whatever shenanigans and games they need to do to bring Brady back. They're going to stop thinking otherwise, stop wondering otherwise. If they have any shot in the world at bringing Brady back, he's coming back.
Mike Evans will restructure his deal for the 32nd time.
I believe he's now paying the team to play for the team. So, yeah, guys, if Brady wants to come back, he's coming back. There's billions of dollars that the Glazers would be willing to say, yeah, sure. So, yeah, that's just that. Okay. There's a lot of Brady merchandise that the Glazers are making a nice, pretty penny off of. So don't think otherwise. Yeah, that's going to happen. All right. Now, when we come back in just a moment, let's get into the biggest game of the year. Make no mistake, this is the biggest game of the year. We've got big stuff to talk about shortly.
Merry Christmas.
All right. So I hope my buddy Todd from Winter Park is out there. Todd, I hope you're hanging around. I hope you're able to watch this because I'm about to talk about you, brother. We're now going into week 16 or week 17, but it's the 16th game of the season. And every week I get a call from Todd. Hey, Christopher Cole, how you doing, brother? I see you out there. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome, Chris. So, I want to say this. For 16 weeks, I've gotten phone calls from my good buddy Todd in Winter Park. And every week we got a big game this week. And almost every week I'm like, yeah, no, we don't. No, we don't. Well, Todd, I expect a phone call from you this week saying we got a big game this week because we got one heck of a big game this week. The entire season is this week. Guys, look at it any way you want. It's playoff time now, okay? This is a playoff game. All right, this is a playoff game. You win, you're in, period. This is a playoff game. If you lose, there's a slight chance you're going to get in. The Saints would have to beat the Panthers next week. How hilarious would that be for the Saints to put us into the playoffs? Poor Jono Barnes would he'd jump off of, I don't know, whatever's in New Orleans that's up high. I don't know. There's not much that's high in New Orleans. A levee. But
Superdome.
Yeah, there you go. He would jump off the Superdome because, I mean, if they were responsible for getting the Buccaneers in the playoffs, there would be something beautiful about that. But guys, we win this week. We are in. This is a playoff game. This is a big, 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 big game. Now, some of you may not know this. Guess where I live? Guess where I live? These wonderful this wonderful studio that I'm in. Where is this? It's in
Could it
Charlotte, North
be
Carolina.
Charlotte?
I'm in enemy territory. And
Wearing a
these
Bucs
guys, these
Brady
fans who I
shirt.
haven't heard from in years. Yeah, I moved here. I moved here, oh gosh, 2.5 years ago, and I haven't heard a peep out of Panthers fans. I never see them. They never come around. All of a sudden, I'm getting all this trash talk from Panthers fans. I'm like, who knew you were a Panthers fan? All these people at work talking trash. You weren't. You're a Panthers fan? You've never said that in the 2.5 years I've been here. Now you're a Panthers fan?
Well, it's Charlotte FC off season.
Holy cow, man. The Charlotte Football Club is not the Panthers. I can tell you that. Listen, I want to beat the crap out of the Panthers. We owe them for last time. We owe them for the last game. Guys, these guys are getting cocky. They've won 4 out of 5 games. The fans are getting cocky. This is what amazes me. The Panthers fans are cocky, and Bucs fans, who are a game in front of them, are doing nothing but complaining and saying it's over and the sky is falling.
Hey, they had that big win against Denver at home.
Okay, guys, we got them. We got this. Okay, mark my words about this and listen close.
Sam Darnold is the quarterback.
Gather up, everybody, huddle up. All right, you ready? Huddle up. You ready? You ready? Brady's gonna play a good game this week, a big game this week. Why is Brady gonna play a big game this week? Because it counts. Okay, this whole game is like the fourth quarter of last week's game. Watch Tom Brady blossom this week. Watch all of a sudden you go, oh, well, where's this been? Well, and I promise you this. The comment section is going to be it's going to be going nuts next week with people saying, why didn't Byron do this all year? Why didn't Byron call a game like this all year? I don't think any of us know what game Byron's calling because Brady, I mean, again, try to call a game where you have to throw the ball in under 2 seconds. All of you freaking geniuses. Now, look, here's what I think about. I'm trying not to do it.
Do it. You're going to do it anyway. Just do it. Get it over with. Do it. Do it.
Let me tell you about you freaking idiots who are out here thinking you're geniuses and you should be offensive coordinators. No, you shouldn't. Let me tell you why you complain constantly, whether it's the Super Bowl season or whether it's last year or whether it's this year. Let me tell you why you complain constantly on social media. And why do you complain constantly about this team? The reason you complain is because you're desperately trying to make people say, wow, you're so smart. You should be the offensive coordinator. You're a freaking garbage man or whatever the heck you do. Okay? I can't call plays better than Byron Leftwich, and neither can you. So get off your freaking Facebook or Twitter or whatever and stop acting like you're a mother effing genius. Okay? You're not. All right? The guys who are getting paid, they've got years of experience. What do you have? A bag of Cheetos and a 40-inch TV screen. Okay? No, I'm better than that. I got a 70-inch. This is my point. You got to brag. This is all you're trying to do. You're making it about you. You're not a Bucs fan. You're a you fan. And that's all I'm hearing out of you. Me, I do this. Oh, I can't believe this. I'm so much smarter than this. No, you're not. No, you're not. The guys who should be in charge are in charge. And you should keep doing whatever the heck you do for a living. Because that's what you do. So stop with the arrogance. All right? Just stop it.
All better?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, it served its purpose. Happy holidays.
It's the truth, though. It's the truth, though. Freaking people thinking that they go on Facebook and they're always, it doesn't matter that freaking Super Bowl season. Complained the entire season. The entire season they complained.
I rather enjoyed myself.
Yes, I had a great time. But these people with this chest thumping, you're an expert on social media. Stop. Watch what happens this week. If this happens, guys, I want you to listen. Fred, I want you to listen. Chris, I want you to listen. If this happens, remember this, okay? Remember this. If it doesn't happen, come on back and tell me what an idiot I am. I hear it all the time anyway. So come on back and talk to me next week. But mark my words, Brady's going to have a big game this week. The Bucs are going to have a little bit of a coming out. And why is that? Because they're going to play differently because they have to win. Okay? I'm not saying they're going to score 50. I'm not saying it's going to be that kind of game. They may only win by 6, 5, whatever. Okay? But the team is going to play differently. Watch, because Brady's going to hold the ball a little longer. I'm betting Mike Evans gets his 1,000 yards this week. All right? This is the week. Write it all down, everybody. I've already said it's going to be a coming out party. Mike Evans is going to cross 1,000 yards this week. All right. He's got, I think, 90 or something. Dave, you can check that for me, but about 90 to go. All right. The thing is this, and let me say this, Chris, Brady's not going to Miami. Brady is not going to Miami. It's not happening. He's not going to Miami. They've got their quarterback. It's just not happening. They've got their coach. It's not happening. Now, I believe, and this makes all the sense in the world, that when in the fourth quarter, what does Brady do? Brady does what's necessary to win the game. Brady will do what is necessary to win the game this week. 2 touchdowns out of Mike Evans this week. 2 touchdowns. And you know what I've heard? I've heard people complaining about how Russell Gage is nothing special. And then little by little, every week, all these key plays, Russell Gage comes up big. Tony, thank you. Tony, I got to say this. Tony, I don't know you, but please keep coming around and bringing common sense like this in here.
And Rick, Mike Evans has 917 yards and 67 receptions.
83 yards.
So he needs 83 yards to hit 1,000.
He's going to get 83 and 2 touchdowns this week. Okay.
I think 84, but
he'll go over 100 yards. How about that? He'll go over 100 yards and get 2 touchdowns this week.
And his 1,000-yard a year streak will stay intact.
Correct. How many touchdowns does he have this year? I believe he has 2.
3.
3?
2 against the Chiefs and 1 against Cowboys in opener. He has not had one since October 2nd.
Okay, he has not had a touchdown. Dave, I love you being on this show, man. So 2. He's got 3 so far this year. He'll get 2 this week. All right. So everybody who's down on them, watch what happens this week, because it's a game that matters. It's a game that counts. I brought up Todd from Winter Park. I brought him up earlier, and I said to Todd, Todd, before the season started, before the first game, I said to Todd, I'm telling you, man, Brady's playing scared. Brady's going to play scared. And it's what we saw all year. I said, Brady doesn't care until the postseason. He really just does what's necessary to get to the postseason. And that's exactly what we've seen. So he's going to get us to the postseason. He's going to get us back there. So Tony, thank you. Tony, I actually agree with this comment. Tony, you're bringing wisdom. I believe this is true. We're going to have Brady for 2 more years. Okay. And everybody's going to sit here and whine and complain and gripe and moan. And, guys, Todd Bowles is not going anywhere. Don't even think about it. There's not a chance in the world that he leaves. He's going to be here. Todd Bowles is back. Byron, if Brady's back, I think Byron's back, because I think Brady likes Byron, because I think Brady can control Byron, and that's what he wants. Or you're going to have to end up with some sort of a coach that Brady is very, 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 very familiar with, on offense as an offensive coordinator.
The one thing you haven't mentioned, Rick, is Tom Brady, as a starting quarterback, has never had a losing season. And for that to not happen this year, he's got to win the last 2 games. And don't tell me that he doesn't know that and that's not in his mind.
Yeah. But Brady's done a lot of things this year that he's never done before, like losing to rookie quarterbacks or losing 3 in a row or losing this, doing that. He's getting the full Buccaneer experience. Tom Brady's getting. I'm kind of glad he's gotten to experience this. He said the other day that one of the things that he's learned is that no one's entitled to winning. And I do think there's a part of him that's what we got out of him this year. I think we got a guy who came in somewhat thinking he just is going to win. And I think we didn't get the full Tom Brady this year. And I think we'll get it next year. Again, I think Gronk will be back. I do think we're going to 50-50 shot we get Brady and Gronk back. Now, I'm not saying I think it's going to happen. I'm saying it's a 50-50 shot. I do think the only 2 teams that Brady would go to, now watch me be totally wrong, will either be Dallas or the Raiders. And if he goes to the Raiders, hey, can we have somebody please call Derek Carr as quickly as possible? But
do you make him a transition quarterback to Trey Lance in San Francisco?
What? No, he's not going there after Brock Purdy playing the way that he's playing. I don't even think Trey Lance is the starter in the future. I think they're looking at Brock Purdy. I mean, I think they've got 2 young. Let me say this: they have 2 young guys that they'll let battle it out. I think that's what'll happen. Listen, quarterbacks are weird.
He's from there.
What's
That's his hometown team.
Yeah,
San Francisco is his hometown team.
Yeah, we heard this before. He's not going anywhere. Right now, they already have 3 quarterbacks right now that are there. 2 of them are hurt, but they have 3.
Well, he's a quarterback that has 7 more Super Bowls than all 3 of them combined.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, then he's going to go to Green Bay, right, Dave? Because he's got more Super Bowls than that franchise has in its storied history. Come on. All right, that doesn't work. He's not going to San Francisco. He's not going to Miami. It's just not happening, okay? I don't believe Tom Brady is the type to go to a division rival. I don't believe he would go to New Orleans. I don't believe he would go to Carolina. I don't believe he would go to Atlanta. And if he goes to any of those teams, I'm going to jump off the Superdome, okay? But no, it's not going to happen, all right? Let me say this. Tony, you were doing so good. Listen, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't go into the Hall of Fame like you have to. I mean, that's just if he wants to retire and just have a press conference for old time's sake. Brady has no love for New England. When Brady, you hear him talk about when you hear Brady waxing eloquent, he never talks about New England. When you hear his speeches, when he's thanking people, he doesn't even bring up New England. I don't think first, let me say this. Anybody who thinks that Tom Brady is going back to New England to play, there's not a chance in the world he's going back there. Let me tell you why. At first, they would have to fire Belichick. Okay? They would have to fire Belichick because can you imagine Belichick? If Brady went back to New England and they won a Super Bowl, Bill Belichick has lost all credibility at that point. You know it's Brady. And Belichick ain't letting that happen. Okay? It's just not happening. Jim Melvin says, for the Bucs and Brady to handle Carolina on Sunday, they will need to win the field goal or the field position battle. Field goal. Sorry. That's a Freudian slip. Yeah, that's a Freudian slip. Okay, they will need to win the field position battle. It comes down to one thing. They're going to need to stop the run. Okay, they're going to need to stop the run. I hope so. I cannot explain to you how much we need Vita Vea back. I cannot begin to tell you how important it is that we get Vita Vea back. It's massive. It's huge that we get him back.
we haven't discussed the stellar Panther win streak that they're on.
Well, I mentioned 4 out of 5. You want to talk about that in a second, Dave? You want
I'd
to talk
love to
about
talk
it?
about that in a second, Rick, because I think I can add a little something for the fans.
I think you can too. Hold on. Go, Dave.
Somehow, some way, people now think that the Carolina Panthers are this great running football team. Let's look at the schedule since week 12 and see who they played and how it's turned out. They played the Denver Broncos at home and won 23-10. Their signature win is against a very average Seattle team at Seattle 30-24. They lost at home to Pittsburgh, and they beat Detroit at home. None of those teams this year have really great run defenses at all. So the Bucs do, and I believe that the Carolina rushing juggernaut is going to be tamed, and then the game goes into Sam Darnold's hands. Even with a Brady who's been throwing more interceptions than touchdowns, I'll take Brady any day of the week against a fully healthy and a fully cognizant Sam Darnold.
Yeah, well put. Bravo. That's a good take. That's a good take. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's go through, Dave. How many yards did they have? Let's go back over those wins, over those games. How many rushing yards did they have?
Just a second, and
I know. You didn't know this was coming. And by the way, to Tony saying that the Panthers miss Christian McCaffrey. No, they don't. And this is the thing. If you notice, teams that are built around a running back, what you notice they struggle badly. Tennessee's not having a good year. The Panthers, now that they've gotten rid of McCaffrey, or that McCaffrey's out, whatever, that all of a sudden that's, they look better. It's you can't win like that anymore in the NFL. You can't win with your running back being what you can't be a running back centric team. So I don't believe that they miss him. I think they're Chuba Hubbard and I lost him. Who's the other running back there?
Dante Foreman.
Yeah. You're sorry. They don't scare me. Go ahead, Dave. What are the those?
Well, they had 185 against Denver, 223 against Seattle as far as rushing goes. But I mean,
and what they have against Detroit?
Detroit, they had 320. So they're running the ball, but they're not running against
a lot of rushing yards.
It's a lot of rushing yards, but that's not against the Bucs defense.
How many passing yards did they have against Detroit?
Well, I was going to go look up the Steelers.
Go ahead.
They had a whopping 21 yards rushing against the Steelers.
Okay. Now,
so I mean, against bad defenses, they run it up. But Tampa's not a bad defense. They're a very good defense.
Right.
And they're even a better defense against the run than they are against the pass.
Yeah.
So to me, they're going to neutralize the Panthers rushing game. They're certainly not going to run all over them. And then the game goes into Sam Darnold's hands.
Do me a favor, Dave, while we're talking here, while we're doing this, I want you to go back and look at the first Bucs versus Panthers game. And I want to talk about what the stats look like in that game, because I think that's a little bit of a key here that we need to discuss. We'll come back in just a second and discuss the stats and what happened the first time they played. All right. So in that game, Dave, first of all, what was the score?
The score was the Carolina Panthers 21 and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3. The Bucs did
3.
not score until the fourth quarter.
Eesh. Okay. What was the rushing yardage given up?
The rushing yard is what they gave up 173 yards to the Panthers. Deontay Foreman had 15 carries, 118 yards, and Chuba Howard had 9 carries for 63 and 1 touchdown.
Okay.
Their
So,
longest run was 60,
okay, so we
which was
struggled a
half the
little bit.
yardage for Foreman.
Yeah, we struggled against them last time. We didn't move the ball against them, and that's what I think is going to be different. I think we're gonna be able to move the ball. But okay, so Chuba Hubbard was not the big guy there. Deontay Foreman was.
On really one carry, he had 118, but 60 of that was on one game. Was on one
Here's
play.
the thing: what's important to them. The reason their running game is so important to them is they got to keep. They don't want to rely on their offense. Okay, now they're going to get their yards against us. They're going to get their yards, but I think we are too. And I think that's what's different. And I think we're going to play differently. I guarantee you this team's got a chip on their shoulders and is pissed off that they lost that first game.
And we only ran the ball 16 times for 46 yards. Brady had 49 attempts for 276 yards.
But wait a minute. All we do is run the ball, Dave. Isn't that what I hear constantly on Facebook and Twitter? All we do is run the ball. We're not creative.
And Mike Evans had a big game, 9 receptions, 96 yards.
It was his biggest game of the year.
And he was targeted the most with 15.
Yeah, guys, he's going to have a big game again. I'm telling you, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, all right. So we've kind of taken a look at, they ran the ball on us last time. Dave, you and I sort of disagree on this. I do think they're going to have a decent game running. Say 140 yards rushing against us. I think they'll probably score around 16 points. I think the difference is going to be, I think you're going to see the Buccaneers offense. You're going to be looking at it going, well, where's this been all year? And this is what we're going to hear. We're going to hear everybody saying, why didn't they do this all year long? Why didn't they do this all year long? I'm going to say it one more time. I don't want y'all to remember it. It's because Tom Brady has played scared. He's played defensive to make sure he's healthy at the end of the year. He protected his 45-year-old body and made sure we got into the playoffs. And then he'll go ahead and wing it. Okay.
Well, I think the Bucs are going to break 20 points, and I think they're going to hold the Panthers to 13.
Okay. Okay. So we're actually fairly close. I say probably 23-16. And you're saying
I think the defense rise. I think Brady will be on a lot more than he has been. He's going to have more touchdowns than interceptions, which is not what he's been doing. Is not Brady like. I think he shows up, and I think that spreads to the rest of the team and gives it confidence. And I think they win by 10, 23-13. It's not going to be a wipeout. It's going to be a close 23-13. I think they pull away I think they pull away at the end like they have been. I think it's going to be a dogfight for 3 quarters, but I think the Bucs are going to be at home, and I think Brady's going to make the difference again down the stretch, and I think the defense is going to show up.
Holy cow! We need to. I'm gonna try and go back and just clip that because I agree exactly with what you just said. It's going to be a dogfight for 3 quarters.
That can't be. We can't agree. That's
I know.
Not right.
This is horrible. This is horrible.
It's first grade. That can't be.
I know.
You said 16, so I said 13. So there we're off.
Yeah,
we're off a little. We can't be in line.
No, not exactly.
That never happens. So
no, ever.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So huge game. So Todd in Winter Park. I expect a phone call from you telling me it's going to be a close game. It's a big game. It's a big game, Rick. It's a big game. I expect that phone call from you because finally you'll be right. Okay, finally you will be correct. Yes, this is a big game. I'll be watching. Dave will be watching. We'll be ready to talk about this next week and rip it apart, discuss it in detail, celebrate with you. because I'm determined that's what we are going to do, guys. We are going to celebrate. Y'all ready for that? Because I am.
Following the mantra of Lane Kiffin, get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn ready. And then we will see you and talk next Tuesday night at 9 o'clock ish. We might start a little early again because that's what we do sometimes. If we're ready, we're just going to go live and start. Want to thank you guys for being here. All of you for the comments. I appreciate you guys for coming around. Tony, welcome. Jim, thank you for coming. Chris, you're the man. You are the man. Oh, did we have Hicks? Oh, Christopher just asked a brilliant question. Dave, do you happen to look in the stats of the first
I don't
game?
see any. I don't see him in the stats at all.
No Akeem Hicks the first time we played. That's a big difference. Christopher, you're the man, as always.
You get the A+ with a star for the week.
Yes, exactly. That was the comment of the
Brilliant.
night. Thank you, Christopher.
Brilliant analysis.
Coming in right at the last second with the brilliance. All right, guys. Thank y'all for being here. We will see you very, very soon on Tuesday night when we're going to talk more about this victory.
We'll be in next year the next time we see you.
It will be. Have a great New Year, guys. Go Bucs. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
Happy New Year.